Det är de här killarna John McCain och Barack Obama slåss om. De och Colorados övriga 5 miljoner invånare. Men det är Obama som har kopplat ett grepp om USAs swing states. Så också Colorado efter en lång svit av republikanska segrar.
If you look at the map, the electoral map of the United States, there are only a few states that are different from where they were in 2004 and 2000. And as you know, those elections were very close in this country. And you need to swing a few of those states into your column, whether it's the blue Democrat column or the red Republican column. And Colorado is one of those states that's changing.
It was very interesting in the last election. The margin for the president was very slim, but one example I use with my students is on one of the local issues, one classroom of 24 students could have swung the issue one way or the other. So every vote counts for sure.
Det är USAs swing states som i stor utsträckning avgör presidentvalet. Staterna som står och väger mellan republikansk och demokratisk majoritet. Vinnaren i en stat tar hem samtliga elektorsröster och det är de som avgör valet.
Colorado becomes a state that Barack Obama can win and has to win in order to become president.
Det finns 3 ganska jämnt fördelade väljargrupper i Colorado. 1/3 demokrater, 1/3 republikaner och 1/3 oberoende, osäkra väljare. Det är den gruppen som kan bli nyckeln i valet.
So that's why Colorado is important for Barack Obama. He needs to come here and get those independent voters and get them in his column so he can win Colorado.
I Rocky Mountains nationalpark norr om Denver möter vi 2 jämnåriga par som definierar några av skillnaderna mellan John McCain och Barack Obama. Joe och Diana Bodley har bestämt sig för att rösta på Obama.
I like the philosophical views of Obama rather than the kind of hard, stubborn views of the Republicans.
What kind of philosophic views do you mean?
Well, I think that it's a good idea that Obama likes the idea of being able to sit down and talk with people from other countries who are not sharing the same views we have, and maybe trying to communicate with them, instead of just having a hard line.
Let Social Security taxes go up much higher. Maybe even certain people that are below a income level don't pay Social Security tax. My understanding is that if you went really high, you'd still have the rich being very comfortable, but it could almost take care of our Social Security.
Jim Goings och Loreen Ditzman står lika långt till höger som paret Bodley står till vänster. John McCain och Sarah Palin är ett givet val.
Really good people, strong faith, good values, family values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. She's pro-life. We're Christians, and we're pro-life, and we really believe in what they're for, as opposed to being pro-abortion.
And we believe she's going to make a change in our government, and so is John, of course. But she's a real fireball.
I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head, didn't hurt.
Söndag förmiddag i Platteville. 7 ställen är öppna, 6 kyrkor och en diner. Vad som borde vara en republikansk bygd verkar ha förändrats. En republikan säger att de flesta han känner kommer att rösta på Obama. Missnöje med Bush-administrationen är en anledning. Ekonomin väger tungt.
Have you decided how to vote?
I have not yet.
When will you?
I'll probably decide when I get to the voting booth, depending upon how the candidates handle the financial crisis and how they handle the international events that are going on.
So that's the biggest issue for you?
Yes, absolutely. If it isn't, you must be dead.
So your economy is affected as well?
Not yet, but it will be.
Oh yes, I'm a retiree. I've watched my retirement. It's decreased by about 30%. Work hard all your life to retire and then have it just dissipate. That's really scary.
The biggest issue, I think, in Colorado, though, is going to be the economy. And so how both candidates respond to that issue is really going to I think, determine where the independents eventually land.
I think what you saw the other night, George Bush gets on TV and looks scared. And that doesn't comfort people. And if you can find at this moment, the next week, one of these leaders emerges and is able to articulate the problem, tell the people about it, and make them feel okay, they can win the election.
Barack Obama har majoriteten av Denvers 500 000 invånare. Kampen om förorterna med 2,5-3 miljoner människor fortsätter. Landsbygden tillhör i stor utsträckning John McCain.
Interesting story about Nevada. In 2004, I was talking with Harry Reid when he came through town a couple years ago, the Senate leader, and he was watching the race, and he thought for sure John Kerry was going to win Nevada. Not a problem. He had all the big cities. And he kept seeing Dick Cheney come out and hit these rural areas, Elko and places outside of Reno and Las Vegas, and that's what the Republicans were doing. They were going out into the rural areas where there's not a lot of people, but pretty soon when you start getting them to vote 3-1 in your favor, those votes add up and count. So Democrats have figured that out and are now hitting rural areas in Colorado and across the country.
På landsbygden nordost om Hudson, Colorado, står Robert Denning och skrapar på sin garageport. Han flyttade hit 1974.
I'm going to vote for John McCain, and the reason is freedom.
What do you mean by that?
I like being free. If we get Obama in there, the first thing he'll do is try to take our guns. Then he'll turn us over to the United Nations, our sovereignty anyway. He'll let the United Nations go ahead and form their own army, and there will be no free world.
What do you like about McCain's policy?
Well, he plans on keeping us as a sovereign country. We will be able to keep our weapons. And as long as we got our weapons, nobody's going to invade us.
Why are the weapons so important to you?
Have you ever looked at history? Anywhere a dictator took over, he took the weapons away. And the reason is, as long as you got a disarmed population, they can't defend themselves.
Colorado är en oerhört viktig så kallad swing state i det amerikanska presidentvalet. En traditionellt republikansk stat som nu står på vippen till att bli demokratisk. Barack Obama vet hur lite som krävs för att vinna Colorado, en seger som faktiskt skulle kunna avgöra hela presidentvalet. Men Obamas största problem kan vara landsbygden. Han har beskyllts för att vara elitist och måste bevisa att han är en av folket.
Somebody was telling me today about an article in GQ where Barack Obama didn't know what a ball hitch was. You put it on the back of your truck to, hook your trailer up. That kind of stuff, people in the West talk about. You're not one of us. You don't even know what a trailer hitch is. Small little things. I mean, we have entire presidential races which turn on personality quirks and little things like that versus sort of the big issues. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens over the next several weeks.
And we've got to give some trust and confidence back to America.